Well, hello there everyone, and welcome to another UXW Bill video. This was going to be a very quick, short, sweet, and to the point video. It's also one of those videos I was on the fence about, do I really want to make a video about this? That's not the only complication that's arisen, but we'll get to that a little bit later. This is a video to talk not only about something that's very probably a miracle, but also a warning to any vintage computer enthusiasts out there, not so much the well-established ones like you and I, who know about these things, but maybe those who are just starting out or scouting around for their first vintage computer. This is a video that aims to warn you of something that is a very real and present problem and has already destroyed so many perfectly good computers. And that is a battery. See, all relatively late model computers, basically anything a 286 or newer, and some even older than that, all have a battery of some kind that keeps a real-time clock inside them running. Now, a lot of times when that battery runs down, it's not that big a deal, although you should certainly remove a dead battery anytime you find one. But it can be a very, very big deal if the system was designed with a rechargeable battery in mind. These things take on a barrel shape, and after so many years they fail, and then they become known as barrel bombs for a very, very good reason. I'm getting ready to haul away another batch of electronics recycling here, but before I let all this stuff go, I want to show you the miracle. This is a Royal Business Machines Alpha 9170 cash register. I kept this as a backup for a number of years for a client of mine. It's not in good shape. It's spent at least a decade in the Roach Palace, and it's been stored in inhospitable conditions otherwise. And as you might imagine, it's got one of those barrel batteries in it. And unfortunately, what happens with those, all too common an occurrence, when they go dead and they start to degrade chemically, they fail violently, which is what earns them the name barrel bomb. The acid that they spew, or maybe it's a base, I don't know, really doesn't matter for the sake of this discussion. Whatever they spew is instantly and irreversibly corrosive to circuit boards. And if you're dealing with something that's old enough that it's got simple logic chips for a majority of its construction, with low pin counts and pins that you can actually see, you might be able to jumper around the damage that's done to the copper traces on the circuit board. But unfortunately, around the same time that rechargeable clock batteries were getting to be common in computers and similar devices, they were also moving to much larger scale integration and custom parts. Parts that have pins so small you may not hardly be able to work with them. They're not through-hole mounted. Maybe the circuit traces even go through a middle layer of the board that you can't otherwise get at. And that's why damage from one of those batteries can be so terribly, terribly fatal. Let's go ahead and pop this off. This is not supposed to do that, by the way. We'll get this keypad out of the way, but first we'll take a look at that really nifty VF display. We'll unplug this ribbon cable. Yeah, and I don't really care about this thing. It's obviously got major problems. Although it has been sitting here running for about the past hour and hasn't blown up. And the reason why I've had it running is because I wanted to see if this particular barrel bomb battery, which looks like it may finally have started to go a little bit, although it might just be the heat from these two resistors over here, I really don't know. But somehow, despite the fact that this thing has not seen power in well over a decade until tonight as I'm making this video, and has been stored in awful, unclimate-controlled conditions, somehow, through some miracle, that battery's still intact. I just can't even believe it, and I want to see if we can maybe go for 2 miracles in one shot, maybe even 3 miracles, because this is one of those jobs that you almost need 2 hands to do, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off, but we're sure going to try. I suppose if I were more well-versed in using chopsticks, I'd have this down to an art right about now, but we'll try to make electrical contact with the battery on both sides. Its nominal voltage is supposed to be around 3.6, and it's actually come up. It's weak. It's probably lost a ton of its original capacity, but much to my amazement, it's still definitely in the game. But to reiterate, before I close this video up, If you or someone you know is into vintage computing or just getting started out and looking for a computer, or you've got a computer that maybe you want to sell to the vintage computing community, take a moment and look around for one of these. And if you find it, remove it with extreme prejudice. Don't get too violent. Don't break the circuit board or anything like that. But careful use of a side cutters or even rocking the battery back and forth enough times. If you really want to get fancy and you have the equipment to do so, you can certainly desolder it. But you need to get rid of this because these things are bad, bad news. I had hoped to get this video down to about 2 minutes, but there were definitely complicating factors, not the least of which is sometimes I just can't work up the enthusiasm to make a video, or my attention gets taken somewhere else. And if you've been listening to this video on headphones, you may have some idea what's coming. I don't know if it's been audible in the background or not, but I'll show it to you coming up next. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Certainly do feel free to leave a comment if you happen to have one. Well, folks, I was hoping this video would happen in one clean take, but I just heard something. Electronic music. Could it be? It is. It's the ice cream van. Amazing. Wish I had some cash on me. Although in this day and age, probably don't need it. I probably better turn that off before I get dinged for copyright. Because even though I would think that the entertainer is probably in the public domain by now, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some shady rights society or another that says, nope, we own that. Nuts to you. No video monetization for you. Maybe no ice cream either because they're backing up. Oh well. I actually did get some ice cream out of the deal. Amazing.